So next I'd like to talk about the prism and how a prism can cause light to undergo dispersion. That is, where white light comes up, it breaks up into component colors, and the different colors travel at different speeds or have a different index of refraction through this piece of material here. And as a result, the light bends through different angles and it comes out traveling along different lines. To demonstrate that, I'd like to again turn to the blackboard optic system and use this prism. So I'm going to use this prism here like this with a light beam coming up and then passing out through the opposite side. To do that, I'll turn the lights down for better contrast. And we'll see the light coming up, entering the prism, bending toward the normal line, and then bending away from the normal line. You have to think about that to convince yourself that that's what happens, but it bends toward the normal line when it slows down, bends away from the normal line when it speeds up. The net effect is that it goes out in a different direction from which it came. Notice that if I have a piece of material where the two surfaces are parallel to one another, the light beam goes out essentially the same direction it came up. It's just taken a slight jog. Bends toward the normal line, bends away from the normal line, goes out in the same direction. That's because these two surfaces are parallel. But when the surfaces are not parallel, then we get a net bending that takes place. And what happens is that white light comes up and different colors will refract or bend through different angles, and therefore we get different colors coming off in slightly different directions. That doesn't show up very well with this particular system, so let me turn to another system here, where here I have a light source and a prism, and I'm going to let the light come up, strike the prism, and then refract over onto the screen. So here we have white light coming up, and that white light then gets refracted out into its component colors. As we see, the blue or violet light bends the most, and the red light bends the least, with the other intermediate colors in between. This shows the dispersion of light as the light passes through the corner of a prism.